The Republic F-84G Thunderjet kicked off the whole legacy back in 1953. It was a heavy, straight-winged beast that pilots literally had to muscle through the sky. No computers, no fly-by-wire, just pure, exhausting stick and rudder skill. It roared low and fast right at the crowds, proving instantly that jet teams were the absolute future of aviation entertainment. They only flew it for 2 seasons before jumping to swept wings. But those early smoke trails over Luke Air Force Base started an era that still refuses to die. The Republic F-84F Thunderstreak gave the team swept wings for the very first time. Suddenly, they could push much faster. But it had a nasty habit. The engine loved to flame out during hard maneuvers. That is terrifying when you are flying feet apart from 3 other guys. So the pilots had to handle the throttle like it was made of thin glass. It only stuck around for about a year. Short run, sure, but it taught the squadron exactly how to manage high-speed swept-wing aerodynamics before the big supersonic leap. The North American F-100C Super Sabre changed the entire landscape in 1956. Supersonic, the team could finally shatter the sound barrier right in front of packed crowds. It was raw power wrapped in bare metal. And it was incredibly dangerous. The jet had no flaps, meaning landing speeds were dangerously high. You had to respect it or it would kill you. But the crowds just loved the thunderous roar. It made the Thunderbirds global icons, proving that the US Air Force was operating on a completely different level. The Republic F-105B Thunderchief was an absolute monster. Huge, heavy, it was designed to carry nuclear weapons, not do acrobatics. The team only flew it for 6 shows in 1964 before a tragic structural failure forced them to drop it entirely. It remains the shortest-lived plane in their history. It just wasn't meant for tight pulling formations. So they went right back to their trusted old Sabres. But man, seeing that massive lead sled painted in the classic red, white and blue must have been something else entirely. The North American F-100D Super Sabre was the team's true homecoming. After the F-105 disaster, they needed reliability. This upgraded model brought proper wing flaps and a tail warning radar. It made formation flying way more stable. They flew this beautiful beast for over a decade, which is a massive run for an aerobatic jet. It defined the classic era of the team. The polished chrome bellies reflecting the tarmac became an iconic sight. It was loud, smoky, and absolutely defined the 1960s airshow scene. The McDonnell Douglas F-4E Phantom II was pure, unadulterated brute force. This twin-engine titan could shake the ground from miles away. It is massive. Think about it. A heavy fleet interceptor doing tight diamond loops right over your head. The pilots had to fight the controls constantly because it hated low speeds. But the theater of it was unmatched. The black smoke and twin afterburner flames captivated everyone. Sadly, the 1973 oil crisis hit hard. The thirsty Phantom used way too much fuel to stay practical. The Northrop T-38A Talon was the direct answer to that fuel crisis. It was tiny, sleek, white, it used a fraction of the Phantom's gas. The team shifted from raw power to razor-sharp precision. The maneuvers became incredibly tight because the jet was so nimble. But a dark shadow hangs over this era. In 1982, a mechanical glitch caused a 4-plane crash during training, killing the entire diamond formation. It nearly ended the team forever. But it also forced them to reinvent how they operated from scratch. The General Dynamics F-16A Fighting Falcon rebuilt the team in 1983. It was a total reset after the Talon tragedy. This jet was built for high-G maneuvering. The fly-by-wire system meant the pilot just pointed the stick and the computer handled the rest. It was incredibly agile. They could pull 9 Gs effortlessly, turning airshows into high-speed physical endurance tests. The sleek lawn dart look looked stunning in the new paint job. It brought back the loud, modern frontline fighter presence they desperately needed. The Lockheed Martin F-16C Fighting Falcon is the current king. They upgraded to this heavier version in 1992 and still fly it today. It packs a much bigger engine with massive thrust. When they vertical climb, it just disappears into the blue. The precision is unreal. Flying just inches apart at hundreds of miles an hour requires insane focus. It is the definitive modern Thunderbird. Decades in service, yet it still looks like it belongs in the future. A perfect mix of high-tech flight controls and raw American air power. The Lockheed T-33A Shooting Star served as the team's early narrator and VIP aircraft. It didn't fly the main acrobatics, but it was absolutely essential for scouting weather and flying reporters around to drum up publicity. It had 2 seats, making it the perfect platform for showing the world what jet flight felt like from the inside. The team relied on its simple, rugged reliability for over 2 decades. It quietly kept the ground operation moving while the flashy frontline fighters took all the glory. The Fairchild C-119 flying boxcar was the muscle behind the scenes in the early years. It was a twin-engine cargo hauler with a strange twin-boom tail design. The crew used it to ferry spare engines, tools and maintenance crews from base to base. It wasn't elegant, it was loud, slow and leaked oil like a sieve. But without it, the jets would have been grounded halfway through their tour. It proved that a world-class demonstration team requires serious logistics support just to keep the show on the road. The Fairchild C-123D provider stepped up to handle transport duties in the late 1950s. It was a rugged transport built to land on short dirt runways. The team used it to haul heavy ground equipment and spare parts across the country. It wasn't built for speed. But it was incredibly tough, surviving brutal schedules without breaking a sweat. It gave the support crews a reliable ride during long transcontinental hauls. It stayed in the shadow of the shiny fighter jets, doing the heavy lifting without any applause. The Douglas C-54D Skymaster was the piston-powered giant that kept the team moving in the early 1960s. This 4-engine transport was specifically modified for the squadron. They even gave it an affectionate nickname, the City of Las Vegas. It packed massive cabin space to move the entire support crew and heavy gear in a single trip. It was slow compared to the supersonic jets it followed, but its long range made global tours possible. A true unsung hero of the era that kept the diamond formation flying high. The Lockheed C-141 Starlifter stepped in as a massive jet-powered logistics beast for the team during the 1970s. It was the Air Force's premier heavy lifter. When the team went on long overseas tours or hit massive events like the 1976 Bicentennial, this high-speed workhorse carried the load. It could swallow entire spare engines and massive equipment crates effortlessly. It wasn't painted in the flashy red, white and blue. But its roaring turbofans ensured the ground crews got where they needed to go fast. The Lockheed C-130 Hercules is the ultimate logistical workhorse for the modern era. This 4-engine turboprop can carry practically anything anywhere. The team relies on it to move tons of gear, spare parts and the vital maintenance crew to show sites worldwide. It is big, incredibly loud and relentlessly dependable. While the F-16s capture the crowd's screaming attention, this beast ensures they actually have the parts to stay airborne. It is the backbone of the entire operation, plain and simple.